So once we've mapped out that content plan, we know who our buyers are and we know how we're going to try and attract, we know what we're going to put out to try and bring them to us. We need to focus on the getting found stage. This is real, basic stuff, but we need to get found. There's a nice phrase, I found this on the internet the other day, I hadn't come across this phrase. The best place to hide a dead body is page 2 of Google. It's quite a nice little quote. You know you're really desperate for an answer when you click on page 2. When you go to page 3, you've all but given up. So we need to make sure we're visible. One of the first things, for those of you out there that didn't put your hand up when I said, are you blogging? I can't tell you how important a blog is. To just illustrate a point, if your website has 50 pages on it at the start of the year, at the end of the year, if you don't blog and you've pretty much maintained the same website, you've still got 50 pages. If you weren't being found for a keyword on January 1st, come December 31st, you're still not being found. Whereas if you've got a blog and you do one blog a week and it talks around a keyword that's relevant to your industry, you've doubled your chances of being found, particularly for the long tail key phrase. So you absolutely must blog. It's so important. And I'm not talking about doing a blog that says, Johnny from accounts did a fun run, please chuck 10 quid his way. No one cares. You have to do a blog that's relevant to your buyer persona. It's really, really, really important. This is an example we did with one of our clients. We did a search term for flange-facing surface finish types. They work in the oil and gas sector. They sell machines that fix pipes. If you have a leaky flange, they have a machine that will fix it. Right? So they rank number 2 for the search term, Guide to Flange Face Surface Finish Types. Right. Now they're not talking about their product. They're talking around their product. They sell machines called flange-facing machines. I know more about flange-facing than I could possibly have ever imagined. But basically, the guys that buy their machines, they have these industry standards. The first one is the Association of Mechanical Engineering, ASME standard 16.5B. It tells you all about the different surface finishes of your flange in order to maintain it from leaking. Right? Now we wrote a blog post about the different specifications. There it is. It talks about smooth finish, concentric spiral serrated. Now anybody searching for that term, flange face surface finish types, they tend not to be a hobbyist. They're really quite interested in pipelines. When they go on here, you see this big call to action at the side. Flange facing machine buyer's guide. So they land on that page and then they say, I need a page, I need a machine that will help me achieve the spiral serrated finish. Oh look, this company has a flange facing machine buyer's guide. How download it? They come into our system. They are self-identified as a buyer of flange facing machines. It's a very simple process. So we don't talk about a product, we don't do a blog post going, hey, here's our machine, isn't it great? We talk about problems that we know the people that are buying are interested in. Now, PPC, controversial. Do you use it in inbound campaigns? The answer is yes. Next. No, that's not it. So what you need to do is you need to use it for the really stubborn keywords, the ones where you just can't rank for, because you want your organic search traffic to be the primary driver. We had one client who 75% of they're a small company, they weren't spending a great deal, but 75% of their traffic was coming from PPC. And we thought they were competing against themselves in organic. So we slashed their PPC budget by 66%. Their organic search traffic doubled overnight, and their PPC dropped by a third. So it kind of balanced itself out, and they weren't paying for it. It was quite an incredible performance. So only use it for the keywords that you're really struggling to rank for, be it through a blog or through a product listings page. Now, social media. How many of you do social media marketing for your business? Keep your hands up, right? If you're a B2B company. Okay, loads of you. Social media is really quite difficult to get right. A lot of businesses, they play at it. And you really you do have to take it seriously. If you've dismissed it out of hand because, that's not our industry, trust me, your industry isn't that old school. Your buyers are online having conversations, whether it's on industry forums, niche industry forums that you have to really search hard to find. If you're looking for those, check out boardreader.com, by the way. That's a website that it's a search engine for forums. You find some great stuff on there. LinkedIn groups, another great one. Social media is alive and well in all industries. You just need to go and find it. This is one client, that offshore engineering one I was talking about a minute ago. This was their website traffic this is August this year, sorry. We started working with them in August, September and October. You can see that organic's not really moving a great deal. A big chunk of their increase is from social media. We admittedly used paid social, we boosted posts, but LinkedIn was a great performing tool for us. It works really, really well. So social media, don't play at it, go hard or go home. And finally, on-page optimization. Everyone thinks they've optimized the website. Really, one thing I'd say is go back, look at the keywords. Look at what people are actually searching for. Within the manufacturing and high-tech engineering businesses, so many people they go with the internal lexicon of the company rather than looking for what the client actually calls the machine or whatever it is that they're after. So make sure you're matching the vocabulary and the search queries. It sounds so basic, I can't tell you how basic this sounds, but it's the first thing I do with every client. And every time I go, oh, you call it this and they call it that, so you're not being found. It happens all the time. If you're interested in some good guides on SEO, HubSpot has some great guides. I'll check out the HubSpot blog. There's tons of information about on-page optimization. Now, let's assume that you've done all of that. It's going really well. People have come to you, they've subscribed to your blog, they've found you. Then what? It's a nice little quote. There is no sales without the story, no knockout without the setup. You've got people coming to your blog. Let's take that one I did a minute ago about the flange-facing machine surface finishes. People subscribe to that blog. When I first spoke to the managing director of that company, he said, people in our industry don't know what a blog is. That blog now accounts for, when we first started working with them, it's almost at the same level. It's about 70% actually, should I say, of their traffic. They didn't have a blog. Now their blog accounts for 70% of the traffic that they previously were getting, and we've tripled their website traffic across the board, and they weren't at a low base. The blog, they've got over 250 subscribers to their blog now, and it's a high-tech engineering. These people get content delivered to their inbox every week. So lead nurturing, who uses marketing automation software? Not many of you. Marketing automation, you'll find loads of tools. MailChimp are now offering it. HubSpot's got a great repurposed package on there. Then you'll find things like Marketo and Alokla and a few others that do it as well. But basically it's the process of taking someone from a subscriber to your blog through to being a lead where they might have signed up for a webinar or downloaded an industry report, to downloading what we call the content that takes them a marketing qualified lead. In this instance, it's somebody who's downloaded a flange-facing machine buyer's guide because they're self-identified as a buyer, so they're marketing qualified. Then we had an extra step. This is from HubSpot, but we had the step of sales qualified, but that's the sales team owns that. And then they become a customer, and at each stage, you might have 100 here, that goes down to 70, that goes down to 30, that goes down to 10. Each stage, people drop out along the way. We want to build that funnel at the top and bring people down and spit them out as customers at the bottom. So I just want to take you back to this what I showed you earlier. For these guys, what we did was we created an industry infographic talking about the high costs within the industry of a particular element of the industry. Now, we published that, we did a bit of online PR, we got a lot of good trade coverage. When people came back to the blog to read it, there was a big call to action that tells people about the case studies that this company has within that particular field, in this case offshore decommissioning. They download the offshore decommissioning case study pack, and then we start sending them other content. In this case, we try and invite them to, because we know that they're interested, they download a case study, they're kind of marketing qualified, we drip feed them content. In this case, we send them 10 tools for complying with the API guidelines and pipeline intervention. Sounds exciting, yeah? We all want to read that? And then the 3 checks to identify the right tools for slot recovery operations. Yeah. Again, very exciting. But it's interesting to our buyer personas. When they read these blogs, they go on there, they see a call to action at the bottom of the blog that says, if you want to know more, we invite you to join us for a lunch and learn. Now, a lunch and learn, these guys will fly out to wherever you are in the world, because oil and gas industry, more money than sense, and they'll sit down, they'll have dinner with you, and they'll discuss an engineering project with you. And that's where we get them into the sales part of the process. So we've taken them from being an unknown visitor. We used the infographic to get their attention in the trade press. They came to the blog, they downloaded a case study, we showed them some more blogs, and we offered them to come for a consultation. And now that person is a customer, or at least an opportunity. And that's how that whole process works. How do you deliver that though? How do you execute that across all the different steps? Through email. Email beats gatekeepers. Email is, they've got an inbox in their pocket all day, every day. People have the smartphones, they're checking their email all the time. If you can send them highly relevant, targeted industry content on mobile optimized templates, so they don't have to pinch to zoom and all the rest of it. It's just there, it's mobile optimized, it's nice content, and it's personalized. It's personalized to their, not just, hi Dave. In this instance, it actually says hi there, which is not personalized, but forgive me. It's personalized to their job role. So if we know someone is a finance director versus a project manager, we know they have different pain points. Finance directors involved in keeping costs down, project managers involved in making sure the project is delivered successfully. So the content we send them is different. We split the pathway. We say if this person's a finance guy, we talk about costs. If this person is a project manager, we talk about project delivery and results. So it's personalized content that is relevant to the persona on mobile optimized templates, and we deliver it through email. I'm going a mile a minute. Time away. 12? Okay. Okay, so finally, closing deals. How do we go about closing deals? Selling to people who actually want to hear from you is more effective than interrupting strangers that don't. A nice quote from Seth Godin, it's so true. A bit of research from HubSpot done recently. This was published this month. This graph shows you how many times can a sales representative reach out to you before it gets annoying. How many people get annoyed after one call? Unsolicited, this is. How many people get annoyed after 2 calls? 3 calls? How many people are never going to put the hand up no matter how many times I say a word? Okay, so 30% of respondents said once was annoying. 50% of respondents, these are all age brackets by the way, so 50% of respondents said the second call, it was at the second call it got annoying. That means 80% of people find it annoying by the time you got to the second call. Now, if you're a sales guy who's ringing up people 4 or 5 times, you're damaging the reputation of your business. So, what do we need to do? We need to create a service level agreement, and this takes a culture shift within the business. We need to create a service level agreement between the sales and marketing teams. Marketing needs to be held accountable by the sales team. The sales team needs to be held accountable by the marketing team. So what are the responsibilities of each team? Marketing needs to be responsible for things like increasing website traffic. It needs to be responsible for generating leads. It needs to be responsible for pre-qualifying leads to deliver marketing qualified leads to sales. It also needs to be responsible for getting the right font on a PowerPoint spreadsheet so that the words don't go off the bottom. Apparently we missed that internally. The KPI for the marketing team is the number of marketing qualified leads generated. That's what they're going to be held accountable for. Because you know that, let's say sales team, they have to close 10% of those leads. And they've got to deliver, I don't know, let's say it's 10 customers a month. That means marketing needs to deliver 100 MQLs every month. So sales are holding these guys accountable for delivering those leads. Now in turn, sales need to be responsible for qualifying marketing qualified leads to create sales qualified leads. They're responsible for uncovering sales qualified leads, their needs to create an opportunity. You can work that out. And they're responsible for closing deals. Their ultimate KPI is going to be deals closed and revenue generated. That's it. bottom line. Now, if they're closing at 5% and these guys are delivering at 100% of what they're supposed to be doing, there's a conversation that needs to be had. They need to raise their game. Alternatively, they need to say to them, actually, the marketing qualified lead criteria that we've set needs looking at. So there's a two-way dialogue. The teams need to work closely together. Now, that was a mile a minute, I realise that, and we're going to just wrap up now. So what do you need to do? Use your COCA to set realistic goals, to set the appropriate budget for sales and marketing investment for future growth. You need to keep the buyer in mind. Absolutely critical in everything you do. So use your buyer personas to guide your content planning and production. You need to get found. You need to use the keyword research and buyer personas to find ranking opportunities, and then where you can't find those organic ranking opportunities, you need to jump the system, use pay-per-click to jump the queue. You need to nurture leads with marketing automation. There's tons of tools out there. If you'd be interested, if you don't use HubSpot and you'd be interested in finding out more about HubSpot, it's an all-in-one software solution. If you'd be interested in finding out more about that, come and speak to me. And you need to create a service level agreement. More marketing teams make marketing and sales teams accountable to each other. They need to hold each other responsible for the delivery of their bit of the sales process. Thanks for listening. You can find us. We're in the green stand that says marketing is dead on it. We're stand A34, where you can get free website reviews. We've got a few goodies as well for those that take up the marketing and website review. You can find us at catapult.co.uk and @_catapult. Have we got time for any questions? Or?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Do we have any questions?
Thank you. Is that on, yeah? Thanks for the presentation. I was just wondering how your, is it not on now?
No, it's sorry, carry on.
Just wondering how your clients are reacting to digital. I'm working in the construction industry with a lot of in-house engineers, and I think we're very slow to adopt digital, and because it's an industry dominated by bidding and tendering, a lot of people don't see the value of the likes of SEO, blogging, things like that. So I'm just wondering, how you might go about helping clients change that culture internally.
Okay, so the question was, basically in the old school industry, something like construction, how are our clients responding to digital, where there's a lot of bidding and tender processes, they don't see the value in SEO and that kind of thing. We had the first client that we worked with in this sector, the managing director was like, we don't think this, we know our industry, we know how it works, this isn't for us. He's absolutely changed his tune now because he sees the results. You have to sell them that story. It's about saying to them, right, your buyers, the guys that you're working with have problems. If we can create content around that solves their problems, there is brand equity that is kind of brought in with them. And you want to speak to these guys. Again, one of the HubSpot has it's a similar tool to the guys from Lead Forensics are over there. It tells you the companies that have visited your website. HubSpot has a similar tool in it. And we did a bit of a trial with the client and said, if we just see how this works for a couple of months, we published a few blog posts, distributed a few things on social media. Next thing you know, big companies like Halliburton, big companies like BP, big companies like Baker Hughes, these big oil and gas engineering companies were coming to their website and they could see the results. And all of a sudden they went, wow, to reach these guys in the past, we had to go to a trade show, and even then, there was 1,001 other people speaking to them, and we don't know if it was the right person. We still don't know necessarily if it's the right person, but they saw the value. So it's a proof of concept thing that really gets them there. Beyond that, I can't really give you much advice. It really is. You need a way of getting that initial proof of concept into them. I hope that helps. Vague.
More questions? Any other questions?
Great. That's it.
All right, thank you so much to Martin Broadhurst. That was fantastic.